Okay, why this is not valid?
There is space. It should not be.
Okay, you can't have spaces, right? Okay, very good. And now,
It's invalid.
valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid. Okay, may I know the reason?
Name
It should be underscore.
Name should be string.
Name
Should be string. Yes.
Yes, this is a string, no? The string in the sense the characters, is it what you are saying?
Variable type should be string.
Ah, right. Okay, it's my bad. Like, okay, okay. Right. Okay. My bad. Right. String my name. Right now, this is what I have declared. Right. Now, I'm talking about this. Is it a valid identifier or not?
Not valid.
Invalid.
Yes, because there should have that underscore, not that minus
Hyphen.
mark.
Right. You can't have the hyphen. Yes. Right. Now, if it is underscore, yes, that is valid. Is this a valid variable name? Is this a valid variable name?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
underscore.
Is this a valid variable name?
Yes.
Is this valid?
Yes.
Is this valid?
Yes.
No, sir.
No, you can't start with a number,
No,
right?
no.
Is this valid?
Yes, sir. We can use the dollar mark.
Is this valid?
Invalid.
Is this? Okay, what are the allowed? Now this is invalid. What are the allowed symbols and the things? You can have underscore.
Dollar
You
sign.
can have
Dot.
dollar sign. You can have 0 to 9 numbers.
And characters.
And in block letters, you can have A to Z. In simple letters, you can have A to Z. Right now, only these are allowed. Underscore, dollar, numbers, English alphabet. And the first character should be what? First character of a word without, it could be a letter, it could be a letter, underscore, or dollar sign, not a number. If it is after the first character, second character onwards, it could be anything, right? Okay. Now keep that in your mind. Right now, yes, now you said string. No, I don't know what is string, what is int. Let's say I want to store some numbers. What are the data types I could use to store numbers? Tell me. I want to store numbers. What are the data types I could use?
Integer.
Integer. Okay. What else?
Float.
Float. Okay.
Double.
In float. Okay. Let me wear the headset now. It's heavily raining here. I can't hear anything. Give me a minute. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Right. Good. Okay. Now integer, float. What else?
Double.
Okay. Double. Right. Good. What else? We have int float double. Is that all? Right, okay. Let's say we only know about those. And then I want to have some text value. Correct. Text values, words, name. What should be the data type?
String.
Okay, string. I only want to store text and numbers. Text as a text. I only want to store letters, right? Characters. One single letter at a time. What should I use?
Char.
Char. Right. I want to store true or false values.
Boolean.
Boolean.
Boolean. Right. What else you know? True false values. Then Boolean. We could go. Right.
Sir, date and time.
Date and time. Okay. Is it the data type in Java? Is it a data type in Java? Right now, when it comes to data time is not a valid data type in Java. Right now, when it comes to data types, when you talk about the data types, basically, when you hear the word variable, right now you should remember the data types too. Right now, basically, we can in Java. There are two types of variables that we call it as a primitive and non-primitive. Primitive and non-primitive. Right. Now we have primitive data types and non-primitive data types. In Java, at the time the Java is defined, there are like 8 primitive data types defined. 8 primitive data types were defined. Now those you can see 4 integer types. There are 4 integer types. Those are byte, then we have short, then we have int, then we have long. And 2 floating point types, then we have dot, then we have double, and characters, we can have bar, and date, we can have boolean. Right, now these are the 8 primitive types. And then string. String also defined, right? This is a predefined data type in Java. Then we call it as non-primitive data type. Right now, but some argue. Right now, in char variable, you can only store one character at a time. Therefore, you can store multiple characters to have strings. Why it is not a primitive? Yes. But the problem is string data types. We call it as string has a special feature. We will learn in a while. We call it immutable. String objects are, string variables are, string types are immutable. It is a immutable data type. Therefore, that means once you create, you cannot change. The string variables, once you create, you cannot change. Therefore, in order to hold that feature, the string is predefined data type, but that is not a primitive data type. Right now, we have 8 primitive data types. Right, primitive types means predefined variables, and then non-primitive, but the string is also predefined data type. Now, non-primitive means, right, basically, now this you can say created by, you can call it as reference type or created by the programmer. Now, these were created by the programmer, right? But when you say a non-primitive is created by the programmer, but string is a special reason, right? String is not created by the programmer. The string is a predefined data type. Therefore, you can say non-primitive means created by the programmer except the string data type. Right. Then the primitive types are predefined variables. Primitive types means predefined variable types. You can remember predefined, primitive means predefined variable types. And non-primitive, you can say now those are created by the programmer and not defined by the Java except the string. Because string is predefined, defined by Java. Right, a primitive type. A primitive type, right now, primitive type variables always by right can have a value. Primitive types default value is there. But then if it is a non-primitive, default is none. For an example, integers get defaulted to 0. Likewise. And there's another thing also, if you can remember, right? Primitive data types are starting with simple letters. You can see, and the non-primitive data types most of the time, because you are referring to classes you create. Therefore, right, since classes, when you declare the classes, you are using block letters. So therefore, it starts with the capital letter. Now those are not that much important. Only important thing is there are 8 primitive data types. Alright, now those are predefined data types by Java, and string is also not a primitive, it is a non-primitive, but that is predefined by Java. Right. And string is not a primitive because string has a specific feature we call as immutable feature. That means once create, it can change. Once create the string objects, string variables, right now you cannot change the value. Value in the sense it will create another object when you change the value. Right, now we will discuss that under string class. But for the time being, remember only there are 8 primitive data types. Those are 4 integer types, byte short, int long, and float double, char, boolean. Right, now can someone tell me how to declare a variable?
First, we have to put the data type. Then we have to name the variable.
First, what you have to do?
The data type we have to.
Yes,
set in.
first thing is the data type. Yes, the first thing is the data type. Type of the variable and the name of the variable. Now, this is how you declare a variable. Right. Now, byte. Okay, now we know. Right now we have data types. Then we have primitive, non-primitive. There are 8 primitive data types. And under the primitive data types, we have byte, short, int, long. Right. Now, one more reason. Primitive data types has a default value, and those are predefined. Therefore, specific size. It has a specific size. Now, when you declare a variable, now it takes specific size. Right. Now, byte variable. Size is 1 byte. Short variable. Byte variable, 1 byte. Short variable. What do you think? How many bytes? Size is 2 bytes. Integer variable. What is the size? 4 bytes. Okay, 1 byte means how many bits?
8. 8
8
bits.
bits. That's why we call as the 32 bits integers. Right now, integers, right, 4 bytes, therefore 32 bits. And long is what? 8 bytes. And float has 4 byte space. And the double, we have 8 bytes. And for the char, 1 character at a time. Now that has 2 byte space. And the Boolean uses only 1 byte. Right. Now, what are the values it could hold? Right now, right, 1 byte, that means 8 bits. What is the range of the values? You can have minus 128 to plus 127. Right now, since it's easier, you could remember, right? The others you don't need to remember. Right now, if it is a short variable, right now you could hold from minus 32,768, I guess. I can't remember. Maybe to 32,767. It has to be 8. No? Yes. The multiple of 2. No? Yes. Right. The others I also can't remember. Right now, the integer, right, you may have right around a large number, and then the long it is how much? Okay, what is the range of integers? Search out and tell me the range of integers. I think integers we can go up to 2 billion something, right? Minus 2 billion something to plus 2 billion. And if it is a long variables, can someone quickly tell me? Long. Right, now the long is a very big number, right? It's starting from minus something here to, okay, this much. From minus this into, okay, that means thousands, hundred thousand, million, billion, billion. Quintillions, no? Because it is 9 quintillion, 223 quadrillion, 372 trillions, and 36 billion, 854 millions, 775,807. Right now, okay, a very large number. That is for long, right? Right now, we can say we can go up to quintillion. And then this is billions. Billions. And then 2 billion something. 2. This is up to 2 billion range. This is 9. Okay. Right now, when it comes to float variables, now float variables can around up to 6 to 7 decimal values, 6 to 7 decimal points. Now, right now we can have around up to 15 decimal values. Right, char values, are a single character and booleans true or false. Now that is what we're gonna store. All right. Okay, now let's write a class. Okay. Now, if I have to store 10, what should be the most suitable data type? Hello? I want to store 10. What should be the most suitable data type?
Integer.
Yes, integers. Okay, why?
Is a numeric value.
Yes, now byte is also numerical value.
Oh, it is a whole number. That's the thing. There is no decimal points.
Yeah, the byte is also whole number. Right now, byte, short, int, long. Now all these are integer types. Then they are right here in this, we can only store whole numbers. In float and double only we could store decimal values. His most efficient one is byte, but there are some constraints, some limitations. Now we will go one by one. Right, now let's declare a class. Now tell me now after a long time, right? Now therefore tell me how to declare a class quickly. Quickly tell me how to declare a Java class. How to declare a Java class? Can't remember. Hello.
Class
Sharit.
keyword.
Yes, class keyword. Thank you, Selina. Right, we have to use the class keyword as usual. I'm gonna use test, and we need to have the square brackets. Sorry, the curly brackets to define the scope. Right, inside the class, what can we have? Jarit, inside the class, what can we have?
Main code.
Yes, class members. Yes, we can have variables and the methods. We can have the variables and the methods. Now, since I want to run this, I'm going to write the main method for this one. Then the main method starting from public static void main, and we need to define an array called string args. They write string to get the command line arguments. Right. Okay, now let's say I have a byte variable. Byte number equals 10. Now this is how I print it. System dot out dot println number. I have seen this. Where did I save this? Yes, let me put into the desktop. Right. Right now, when I run this, you will see I can get the answer back. Right. Now, okay, declare another variable. Okay, declare variable called x and assign 10, and declare another variable called y and assign 20, and then have another variable called c and calculate x into y, and then print the c value. Now all should be in the byte variable types. If you want the variable is said, you can make it as an integer. And then get me the answer. What should be the answer?
200.
200. Okay, let's try out. What is the answer you are getting? Quickly try out and tell me. Yes, what is the answer? Yeah, what is the answer?
The answer should be 200, but there is a error with syntax with star mark.
Okay, what is that? Okay, let's try out now. We have byte x equals 10. Fine. Right. And then we have another variable for byte y equals 20. And then let's say I'm gonna have okay, byte variable z equals x multiplied by y. And I'm gonna display c variable. Right. Right now what it says, if you read the error, it says incompatible types because why? We said that byte can hold from minus 128 to plus 127. Therefore, byte cannot hold 10 into 20, which is 200. Byte cannot hold. Since byte cannot hold 200, right now, it gives us the error. Right, by any chance, if it is an integer variable. Right, now let me change it to integer and then see. Right, now you can see when I change it to integer, right now I got the answer as 200. Right. Okay. Right. Now, same way, take two variables, x equals 5 and y equals 2. And let's say now we are dealing with int. X equals 5 and y equals 2. I want to get x divided by y. Then 5 divided by should be 2.5, right? Then if you want, you can make it float variable type. I don't mind. And get me the answer. What is the answer you're going to get? What is the answer?
The answer is 2.
It has to be 2.5.
Yes, sir. Data types integer. It should be double.
Right. Okay. Let's make it a float. Float can like handle, right? 0.5. Yes. 1 decimal point. Yes. Now. Is it 2.5?
No, 2.0.
No. Why is it? Can anyone tell me the reason behind that? What do you think? Now the reason is now when you now variable data type is integer. X is an integer variable, Y is an integer variable. Now you are doing an integer division. Integer division is always an integer. 5 divided by 2 is 2, right? Because the 0.5 cannot hold by an integer. Therefore, now here this will evaluate to 2. And now you have to store it inside the float variable. Now for an example, if you just save it as 5, if you save it as 5 and if you print Z, right, it will display as 5.0. Because here this is 5 is an integer value, but you have to store it inside the float data type. Therefore, it automatically get converted. Now that you call as automatic type conversion. Now it get converted to a float. Now that's why the 0.0 added, then 5.0 likewise you get it. Right now in this scenario also, when you have x divided by y, what happens is right now you divide x value by y, then 5 divided by 2, it is integer x, integer y. Integer divided by an integer is an integer, therefore this gives you 2, and then you get the 2.5, sorry, 2.0 as the answer, because here it is 2, now that has to store inside the float, then the integer value get converted to a float, then you get it as 2.0. Right. Is that clear? There are two data types, primitive and reference, or primitive and non-primitive. Primitive means predefined, reference means user defined or programmer defined except string. There are 8 primitive types we discussed: char, boolean, byte, strong, int, long, double, float. And boolean represent true, false values. Byte represent 8-bit integer, size is 1 byte. Char, character, double, float, int, long, short we have. Right now, these are the ranges of the integer values. Right now, this is what I said: 2 billion values, minus 2 billion values to plus 2 billion values, and minus 9 trillion values to 9, not trillion, 9 what was it? 9 billion, trillion, except millions, billions, and then trillions. Then it should be quadrillion. Yes, 9 quintillion. Yes, 9 quintillions. Right, 9 plus or minus 9 quintillion values a long variable can hold. Right, bits range is 64 bits because 8 bytes, 64 bits, 4 bytes, 32 bits. Right, 2 bytes, 16 bits, 1 byte, 8 bits. Likewise, we have integers. Right, now you have a question to do. Now think of this, try to understand, and then write a program to get the answer. Ask about how many cubic inches inside a cube, which is 1 mile, 1 mile, 1 mile. Inside a cubic mile, how many cubic inches are inside? That's the question. Use the appropriate data types and then calculate. I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes time. Once you finish, if possible, send it to me via a text chat message. What is the answer? Have you finished?
So how to take input number?
Okay, received. Let's see. What is it? The number. Anushka. Okay, let's see whether will we get the same answer. Right now, what it says 12 inches, 5,280 feet, 5280 feet. Right. Okay, inches per mile is 12 into 5,280. Therefore, the result gonna be that IPM into IPM into IPM, right? No. Okay, this is what I got. But I doubt that IPF, let's say, I'm just gonna name it IPF. Right, now I got two different answers. Which one is the correct one? Figure out which one is the correct one, why we get different answers.
The second one is the correct answer.
Yes. Now what gives us the wrong answer? Because now this integer can hold like 5,280 into 12 means 60,000 something, right? Now that can be hold, right? By an integer. 12 into 5,280 means 63,360 now. Yes, now this number can be held by an integer. We said that we can hold like 2 billion numbers. Okay, what would be the reason? What do you think? Because we lost the value here. How much we have lost? See? What would be the reason? That is because like integer multiplied, now previously we discussed integer divided by an integer is always an integer. Likewise, remember, integer multiplied by an integer is always an integer. Therefore, now this value is an integer anyway because it's stored inside integer variable. Now here when you multiply integer by an integer, it is an integer. That multiplied by an integer, it is an integer. Now that's why we ended up by getting integer value. Now here it's a long variable. Now long into long, it's long. That into long, long divided right. Therefore long can hold a bigger number. That's why it could hold this. Now remember that. Now the same thing what has happened like when you divide 5 by 2, we got 2 as the answer. The same thing has happened here. Right? Integer multiplied by an integer is always an integer. Is that clear? Is it clear? If not, please ask.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Right. Now the floating data types, and then there are two floating point types, float and double. Float is 4 bytes, therefore 32 bits. Double is 8 bytes, therefore 64 bits wide. And we used to, when you have to represent decimal values, you use float values. Right now, let's declare some float variables and see. Right now, if it is a float variable, let's say I want to declare variable x as 5 and the variable y as 2.5. And I want to get the result by x divided by y. Right now, when I try to compile this, now this would give us an error because now we have saved 2.5, now a decimal value. Now, since 5 is a whole number, right? Therefore, now yes, this is an integer value that can be stored inside a float. Only then automatic type conversion happens. Now the compiler identify this as a decimal value. 2.5 is a decimal value which is double. Then the compiler identifies this as a double. Then it says, okay, you are trying to assign a double value to a float variable. Therefore, there will be a lossy conversion from double to float. Therefore, you might lose the value. Therefore, if it is a double variable, then it won't be an issue. But since it is a float variable, if you want to identify, or if you want to make sure this taken as a float, when you are dealing with decimal values with the float variables, put f at the end. 2.5 f likewise. Now, float divided by float is always always is float. 5 divided by 2.5. is 2.0. If it is 5 divided by 2, since it is a 2 is a whole number, then I don't need the point that f. If it is a decimal value I want to store in a float variable, then only I need to put f. Right now, float divided by float gives you a float answer, then you get the answer. Right now, otherwise, what you have to do is we need to say integer x equals 5 and float y equals 2. Now, if you do the division, now you get 2.5 float. Y integer divided by float will be a float. Integer divided by an integer is an integer. Float divided by float is a float. Int divided by float or float divided by int is a float value. Now, if you want, like if you have different integer and float division, then it will result in float. Right now, get two numbers and calculate the average. And also, no, let's say you have initial investment. Let's say user enters 1,000 and the interest rate is 9.8 and after interest rate annual, now you are going to make a calculator. Then after 6 months time of the value amount. After 6 months time, calculate the value after 6 months time. Because if you invest 1,000 rupees for the rate of 9.8% annual, then after 6 months time, what would be the amount? That means the value, the total value, what you're gonna get. After 6 months, after 1 year, 6 months and 1 year. Okay, calculate and tell me quickly how to do this. Right, finish. Send me the answer, please. And if you have questions, please ask. Right. Anushka, can you send me the code?
Yes, I can.
Yes, please. Send me the code quickly. I want the Java code. Everyone, please. Okay, you have problems of doing this, then let me know, then I can help you out, please. If you are struggling how to do this, let me know, then I can help you out. Right now, what is the amount? The principal amount is 1000. And interest rate, float rate is 9.8. And then let's say time, the duration we'll have flow duration 1 year, like 6 months means 0.5. Right now, okay, we don't know that right now. Okay, then duration in months we can have 6 months. Months. Then how you calculate? The value would be what? Amount should be equal to amount. Okay, we'll have the interest rate first. Interest equals the amount should multiply it by the rate and divided by 100, and amount into rate divided by 100, that thing divided by 12, and then multiplied by number of months. Interest for interest is what are the errors? Okay, here there's an error. It says what should be the error? Yes, can you figure out quickly? What is the problem now? You should be able to understand this very quickly. Anyone?
Data type used as variable name.
Yes, now the int. Yes. You can't use that, no? Right. Now, what is the error? Variable intrst cannot found. Yes, inrst. Now for the interest for 6 months, right? If it is months, if it is calculated in integers, right now you could say integer months, then you can say interest for 6 months. Then it says 49. It is for 6 months. After 6 months time, you get 1049 rupees. Right now, if it is 12 months time, then you get 98. Is this clear? Okay, now in Java, right now this is when you're dealing in float values. No, you have to put F. Right now, I want you to get some numbers. Get 2 numbers and find the average quickly. when you have right angle triangle, you know that x squared plus y squared is equals to, or z is equals to square root of x squared then y squared, square root of x squared then y squared, square root of x squared then y squared. And when you are given x and y value, I want you to find z. Now, in order to get the square root value, now we can use the square root function available in Java. Right now, for an example, let me have this. If I have square root of 100, let's say I want to calculate. Then I can, let's say here, we can have double results equals math dot sqrt 100. Square root of 100 is equals to result. Two brackets. Right now, square root of 100 is 10. Like using this, you could calculate the square root value, right? And now, define x and y some values, and then get me the z value of a right angle triangle.
So what is the requirement?
Sorry?
Requirement is?
Now we have given, let's say x equals x equals 3 and y equals 4. What is the z value? Right? It won't take much time, no? Very easy. How to do this? Right now, let's say now you are done with this one, no? Okay, let me see. I have received the answers. Photo of it. Then I can copy. Then, okay. Let's say x equals 3 and y equals 4. Likewise, I have. Then I have to calculate the square root. Then I can get by x into x plus y into y. X into x and y into y, square root z these. Right now it should give you 5. Yes, 5.0 because the 9 plus 16 is 25. Then it gives you 25. Your square root of 25 is 5. Right now this is an inbuilt function in the math. Square root is inbuilt function in the math class, right? Right now here this will take only single argument. This will take one value and in return it will return a double value. Right now that is how we do this floating point. Now this is what we did. Right. And then here's characters. Okay. Now we discuss about byte short int long, integer types, and then float double, floating types. And now we are moving to the characters. Chart. Right now, characters. Before I go into characters, I want you to quickly search about ASCII code and the Unicode. I will give you 5 minutes. Right, quickly search about what is ASCII and what is Unicode. Quickly figure out. Take 5 minutes and find out ASCII and Unicode. ASCII and Unicode. Okay, now ASCII. What is ASCII? What is ASCII? Now ASCII stands for what? American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Now that is used to encode the characters. Now that is a character encoding standard, right? In order to represent symbols. That means some symbols and the characters to computers. Right now, we in like computers and communication equipments, in order to represent characters and symbols, ASCII codes were used. And ASCII codes were introduced in 1960s, right? Now still ASCII codes are valid characters. Now ASCII codes are right now represented. Now that means each symbol, that means there will be only 128. Only 128 symbols or characters can be mapped into a numerical value. Then those numbers are ranging from 0 to 127. Now, ASCII codes are ranging from 0 to 127. That means altogether you can have 128 symbols or characters. Now, in the English alphabet itself, you have capital letters 26 and simple letters 26, 52 characters. No? Then with the letters, 52 letters plus like numbers, and then 0 to 9 numbers, then plus 10, and then the plus operator, minus operator, likewise for the symbols, those were allocated. That's why in earlier we could not able to send Sinhala messages using Sinhala fonts. Right now, basically, it uses 7 bits of binary data. Then zeros and ones were used to represent. Now, capital A represented using 65. Right now, for an example, first 32 values are control characters, and the remaining 95 values, right, characters, letters, numbers, punctuation marks, and special symbols. Right now, then we had an issue, like now there are so many languages used in the world, but then those languages cannot be represented, and likewise there are issues. Therefore, the Unicode introduced, and the Unicode, how many characters Unicode uses? Now, Unicode, we said American Standard Code for Information Interchange, ASCII. Now, Unicode, how many characters Unicode uses? Unicode is also a character encoding system which stands for Universal Character Encoding System, right? Unicode. And that can be used to represent any symbol, any letter used in this world to a code word. Therefore, it is designed to be a universal character encoding system which can encode characters from different languages or different scripts, symbols, and any special characters which are used in this world. Right. And it uses how many bits? Now the ASCII codes, we said 7 bits we uses. Right now, then ASCII uses 7 bits, and then Unicode, how many bits it uses? Just tell me Unicode, how many characters? How many bits? Is it 13 bits? Is it 64 bits? 16 bits? How much?
16 bits.
16.
16 or more.
16 or more. Search. Yes, Unicode uses right now here in the slide also it says 16-bit. Yes, 16 bits. Right now there are 8-bit format and 16-bit format likewise. Then we use 16-bit. Right, Unicode uses 16-bit format. Right. Now that means 2 to the power. Now that means there are 16 places. Now each place you could put 0 or 1. Then you can say 2 to the power 16 number of characters you could encode. Therefore, like you can have 65,536 characters. Right. Now, since that's why we can have large collection of large variety of symbols, characters, numbers. That's why Sinhala, Tamil, and other languages were introduced. Right now, previously we had ASCII code only. ASCII can range only from 0 to 127. Right now, and also you can say Unicode is an extended version of an ASCII because still the ASCII characters are still valid Java characters. Right now, for an example, capital A in ASCII, how A represent in ASCII? Now, have you figured out? Now, capital A in ASCII words, ASCII it represent like now 65, not 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. 2 to the power 0 is right. Now, this is how capital A, which is represented in ASCII right now. Now, here you can see right now 0 to 127 values now used right now here. Now it uses one like now this is how in a standard 8-bit ASCII character is represented. Right. Now that is how capital A represented in ASCII, which is equivalent to 65 in decimal. Right. Now when it comes to Unicode, right. Now how it represent in Unicode? Okay, figure out. Yes, how it represent? Right now, Unicode A, now it uses 16 bits. Now, in Unicode, it represents right now. This is how the Unicode represent the capital A. Now that is also the decimal value. If you convert this, you can see it is 65. Right now, this is how you represent capital A. Then capital B is 66. Capital C is 67. Likewise, you can figure it out. Right now. Okay, have this. Right now, this is how right now some ASCII values and some Unicodes are here explained. Right. Okay, now Java uses as Unicode. Java uses ASCII values and Java uses Unicode as well because ASCII values are still valid Java characters. Right, now then how this works? Now let's figure it out. Now let's get back to where were we? Now we were having, okay, let's say char variable. Let's say char variable. Let's say we have ch. If I say 65, if I assign 65, and then if I print char variable ch equals 65, and if I assign, if I print ch, then you will see it displays A, right? Now, if I want, like if I want to assign a character value, I have to use single quotes, then I could say B. Now, if I assign a character, now it will display that particular value. Or if I display 67, if I assign 67, if I assign 67, now then this would display capital Z. I think if it is, what is the ASCII value for simple A that I can't remember? 97, no. Simple A is 65, okay, plus 26, what is it? Is it 97?
7.
Maybe. Then you can see it displays simple A like this. Right. Now, and even if I want, like I could use with the characters like ch plus plus. Right now I can increase the value by 1. Now you know, because even though it is a character variable, it gets the respective ASCII value, increase the value by 1, and then display the respective one. Like now, even if it is the let's say capital Y, then if it is capital Y, then you increase value by 1, then this should display Z. Likewise, it would display. Right. Now this is how you deal with the characters. Then, right, okay. Okay, figure out what is 91. What is 91? Quickly figure out.
bracket square.
Sorry?
Square brackets.
Square bracket.
Error?
Square bracket.
Square bracket. Okay. Now, let me show you right now. Okay. Right. I value, and let's display the I value. On the correct. Right. Now you can see here, right now the first few values are the control values. Right now this is why up to 32, it would display like this because first 32 are the control values. And then there are the symbols now 33, 34, like these are the symbols it uses. And then 48 to 57, it displays the numbers. And then starting from 65, it start the capital A to capital Z up to 90. And then you can see the square brackets and then some specific symbols again till 97. And again from 97, it represents up to 122 the lowercase English letters. And again some set of symbols. And then right, you can go up to like now 1000, but now even those Unicode characters is not supported by all the Unicode characters are not supported now. That's why here it displays like this now. Only few would display. See, the others will display by question mark. That's how it will go. Right. That is how Java characters working. Right now, what I did was I have used a for loop. Right, in order to go one to 1000. That means this will start from 1 and it goes up to 1000. And then it will display the respective characters from 0 to 1000. Starting from 0 to 1000, it will display. Right now, this is what happens. Now, in order to give you an idea, I just showed you. Right. Okay. Now, the Boolean types. Now, the Boolean variable can either hold a true or false values. Now, that is one byte size, and now it could only hold 0. So, not 0. It could only hold true or false. Right now, remember, the Boolean value does not means right now 0 and 1. 0 means not false and 1 is not true. Right? If it is true, it return type as true. If it is false, you have type it as false. Therefore, Boolean variables can only hold true or false values. And then we have discussed all the primitive data types now, right? Either you have to store true or false. Right. Okay. Now, quickly read this question and then figure out how to do this. Okay, finish. Right, distance into the time. Yes, you can give the answer, no? Yes, you have to just do it like this. 1.2 into 1100, then you get the answer. Right. Now, before going into this, right, let's say now very important one, like now every day we are talking about this thing, right? Now 1 USD is currently equals to 326.32 Sri Lankan rupees, according to the Google, right? Then write a calculator like where you can the one is where you can give the number of dollars you have, then it should display the number of that means the word in LKR. The other thing is you should write like you should enter, that means you should assign to the variable the Sri Lankan rupees you have, then how many dollars you can get. Right, quickly write it. right? Can you send me the code? All right. 1 USD is equals to integer USD is equals to 326.32 LKR. Right. Then if you have a number of USDs, integer Q, let's say we have 25 USDs, then you can say LKR value uh, 25 USD is equals to Q plus USD equals to we can have USD into Q. Right, we can have right now. Okay, this is wrong, right? You have to have it as a float. So if you want, you could have a double also you could use value P is equals to Q multiplied by C. Then we can say value plus if you want to display LKR, right? And the bracket missing, right? Now it gives you 250 USD equals to 8,158 LKR, right? And then the other same way, if you want to find out either this way, and if you want, you can have another one to figure out how if you have Sri Lankan rupees, what is the worth of US, right? That you could do this, right? Now, when you are displaying this, okay, has anyone sent me the answer? No, not yet. Right. Now, sometimes let's say I want to write now everything in like using one line. I want to display. I want to display name, full name or last name, F name or last name. Can you display like this? F name or last name? Can you display? I want to exactly print this. Can you do it? Yes or not? Okay, if I try to print this, if I try to print this f name / L name, right? This is what I want to display now. And if I try to do this, now you will see I get an error saying illegal escape character. Right now, if you want to put right now, if I want to display f name single comma or single quotes, first of it, single quotes and L name like this. If I want to display like this, now that is not possible. Right now, I will get an error. It got like, but the double quotes I can't. How comes that is possible? Right now, the double quotes you can't do it. Right. Likewise, you have some issues because now even though I want to print double quotes here, but if I put a double quotes, now that will end this. Now that means it will take only this as a string. Then there's another string without connecting it, without appending it. Likewise, therefore, there will be issues. Therefore, for that, Java has defined some character escape sequences. Character escape sequences. Like now, single quotes like we used to type using character escape sequence. Right now, the single copy now no longer used as a character escape sequence. Now that means you can directly use the single quotes as well. Now you can now in our code also we tried that we can directly use the single quotes. Right now, let's try out. Now, if I want to display double quotes, let's say first name double quotes, and then I want to have a tab space, then I could use /t. /t is for double quotes. /t is for double quotes, right? And thereafter, I want to have single quotes for the last name. Right now, let's say backslashes for the last name I want to have. Then /t, 2 backward slashes. Then it would print 1 backward slash. First name, last name. And then if I want to go to the next line, right now I want to go to the next line. Then I have to use /n. /n is for the next line. Okay, let's try out this. Right, what is the error it says now? Here, right now, since if you want to have the double quotes here, in between here, and then here also if you want to display the double quotes, you need to do it like this. Right now, you can see the F name displayed with double quotes and /t. Now that will give you a tab space. And then I wanted to display the backslash, and L name inside the backslash. Right? And then let's say I want right /t first name last name, and then /t I want to have male or female f /n, then I'm gonna have n /t leaves and /t f. Like right now, you can see /n takes you to the next line, and f name it displays and then for the under the last name it displays Dave's, and whether male or female, like it displays F. Right now, likewise, you could use this. Now here I have used /n /t, likewise. Right now, what happens with the /r? Let's try out. Hello, test. We have /r. Right now you can see now since you have hello test and /r carriage return. Right now that should replace the text. Therefore, it replaces and it displays done testing. Now you can see it won't display hello test because it replaces the text because the carriage returns. Right, no longer we use /r. And sometimes if you want to use Unicode, this /u, we can say copyright symbol /u, starting from /u 00A9. Copyright symbol does not display. Right. Now it displays the respective symbols. Right. Likewise, it displays the you can display the binary values. Now B is for backspace, no? Is it? B is for backspace. Yes, right now you can try out the B. Symbol, space, two spaces, I'm gonna 1, 2 /B test. Right now I have provided two spaces there, right? Now you can say symbol test, right? Only one space. Now it removed one space /B. Right now these were not used in modern era. Right now we don't use these normally. And then octal values you can have /DDD, and you can have symbol /001. Right now you can have /001, the octal value. Or we'll have 110. H. It's there. If it is 110 H. 101 should be here. Yes, right now this is how you represent octal values. Now previously I showed you how to represent the Unicode values, and backspace I showed you, tab space I showed you, carriage return I showed you, new line I showed you, backslash, double quote, single quote, everything I showed you. Right now, and let's try these, and then I'll give you an exercise too. Right, I want you to print this. Okay, you can have this line. Hello, it is a special day. And all these things, right? Now, here, okay. First one, in using one system.out.println, and the second set, again using one system.out.println. You need to type. Right now, these should be aligned, okay? The tab spaces you should use. Right. Okay, do it quickly and send it to me. This is what I want you to display. This one using first one system.out.println, and the second one again using one system.out.println. Right. Okay, thank you. I got the answer for the previous question, Selena. Right. Okay. Do this one quickly. I think it's here clear, no? Right. Okay, send me the answer if you have finished. At least for the first one. Okay, send me the answer for the first one via chat quickly. I just need the system.out println line. If you want, I would display what we have tried. Right, I have received one. Like, can you send me the code via chat? Then I could copy paste. Quickly send me the code via chat. The code, only the system.out.println line. Right. For the second one also, please. I received for the first one. Right. Let's see the second one. Can someone quickly send me the second one? Nimashi? Till she sent. It says, well, that's it. Hello, it's a special day. Right. The second one answers also, please. Anushka, have you done it? Selena, can you send me the answers quickly? It seems you guys are logged in using phones. Right, I think I have received one. Yes. Okay, Selena. Right. Okay, this is off. Second one. Is his name John? Right. Right, good. Okay, this is how we do it. Right, good. Okay, from this, I'm going to stop for today. And if you have any questions, you can ask now. Please ask if you have any. If you have no questions, we can wind up for today then. Right.